We are live from digital address GA099253 in Kokomemle, Accra. We're on the ESTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. A good morning to everyone, and the show is Joy News Interactive, and our social media handles for Facebook, Twitter and Instagram is Joy News on TV. My name is Selina Ampo. Now, sanitation in Ghana leaves much to be desired, with this high indulgence in the habit of littering everywhere. It's one of the major causes of floods. President Nana Akufo-Addo says one of the surest way out is addressing the perennial flooding in Ghana as a change of attitude of citizens. He says until Ghanaians change their attitude, Accra and major parts of the country will continue to flood. Let's listen to him.
We're talking about these infrastructural matters. We must also talk about our own habits. That's right. We have to talk about our attitudes. We have a situation in our country, time and again, Ghanaians, we want this, we want that. But the attitudinal change that would enable us to be able to to bring value to these demands, that is always left out, up till today. Whilst as the Odon River is being dredged, there are still people at home who, when the rains come, think that the easiest way to deal with dirt in their houses is to throw it out into the gutters. Those things have to come to a stop. We all have to speak to each other in Ghana to bring those things to a stop. Because if we don't, no matter the investment that we made, at the end of the day, we'll be back to square one. And I'm not prepared to spend your money in that way again.
Well, you heard our president right there. A lot of comments have been flooding in our comment section. Let's check that out. And James Fianco says, God bless you, Mr. President. We need a change of mind and our own habits. And John Nsaman says, valid statement, we must support it. And Nana Fia Owusua also says, it's true, it's about time we change our bad habits and stop putting the blame on government. Ivan Skobi says, the president might be saying the right thing, but I wish he could have made the same statement when he was in opposition, rather than blame leadership. One man, two tongues. And Jaffa Yabwa says, we have to change our attitude. The president spoke sense. Most of us are too much indisciplined, and the police is also not helping by enforcing the laws. Until law enforcement agencies enforce laws to the letter and Ghanaians also develop a change of mentality, we will remain where we are. You go to every office and after being serviced, the person who rendered the service thinks you must give him or her money. Our mindset is very poor. Hashtag let's change. And Desmond Abaka says, so what do you have to do? Are you not the leader of the country? Just enforce the law. Simple. Samuel Ado Jr. says, did he ask Ghanaians to change their attitude when he was in opposition, or he blamed the then government? And Faustina Darko says, Mr. President, please enforce the law and that will end everything. Solomon Texan also says, rightly said, Mr. President, attitude now change should be educated for a clean environment. Kwame Sapon comes in with a comment. The government has to do its part. Trash drops should be available all through the city. Yes, we need attitudinal change. Yes, we need the government to play some key role. Create an environment to ease the unwarranted dump of trash all over the city. And Enoch Edu says, well spoken, but all these still fall within your power. Well, still on the president, he has been speaking at the Women Deliver Conference in Vancouver, Canada, where he shared that women he says, women have not done enough to earn a place at the decision-making table. Though women are the majority in population, he hasn't seen enough movement by the women to effect a change. the gender activists are seeking? Well, his position stirred up lots of controversy as majority of the audience were feminists and gender activists. Let's listen to President Akufo-Addo at the event.
Privileged I feel to be here to discuss the issue.
Okay, just with your microphone. Yeah.
Ghana, the majority of the population is not coming. It's not coming through.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Is it better?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I fixed it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The majority of the people in Ghana are women.
Yes.
52% of our population is women. So if we have to have an ordered society, to have a fair society, those statistics should count. They should be decisive in what is done. And they're going to be decisive when politicians like Natasha, she's a politician. She is a politician. I think that President Kenyatta would agree with me, and so would Justice Trudeau. She is a politician. When they are able to be where the decisions are made. Because at the end of the day, communities or groups talking for themselves and being representative does not translate into power. The most important thing is power, that you sit around the table whereby the decisions that you make are enforced and become the norms and regulations by which the society lives. So I think that is the, for me, what I've seen in the 2.5 years that I've been in office, that not enough movement is being made by the 52% of the Ghanaian population that are women to be able to be in the position to make these decisions. The cabinet that I have, some 30-odd% of them are women.
30%.
30%. Is not good enough.
So next,
it doesn't
20%
reflect
more next year.
Well,
yes.
And as if they re-elect me, we'll see. But
if you
that
campaign
push,
on that, they might.
Is that push that is key. And we are not, this may sound for the ears of people like Ella very reactionary. We're not seeing enough dynamism and activism on the part of those who are seeking this new. We're not. We're not. No, yeah, we're not. I'm talking about dynamism where it matters.
When was the last time you saw a dynamic head of state?
I'm saying those dynamic is not sitting around here talking. I'm talking about electing people to parliament, controlling political parties, because they're the instruments by which our societies make decisions. We're talking about decisions, not wishes and hopes. We're talking about decisions. It is decisions that is going to make the difference.
But let's not put all the problems, all the responsibility at the door of women. Let's look at the men who hold them back.
Well, interesting right there. You heard the president sharing his thoughts. Well, let's hop onto social media to find out what people had to say about what the president said. And we have Ziblim Ibrahim, who says his posture on the subject under discussion is an embarrassment to the good people of Ghana, especially our mothers and sisters. How could you say something like this? Men and women are equal partners in every endeavor of life. All women deserve a lot of respect and must encourage or be given the chance to elevate themselves to leadership positions, but not blaming them without convincing justification. Mr. President, you got it wrong. Ghanaian women are listening and will not forgive for that pronouncement. And Siko Rashid says, in Ghana, we have the chief of staff at the presidency, a woman, the EC chair, a woman, the minister of justice, a woman. And Boache Benjamin says, what the president said is true. Some of these women are out there messing up at a critical position. These women must be serious in order to win some of us. Well, it's time for us to take a short breather and we will be back with more. Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching JoyNews Interactive with me, Selina Ampo. Well, we all love to drink, don't we? Whether it's water, non-alcoholic or alcoholic drink, we all drink every day. But the major problem we have is having the young ones drink their heads off. I mean, consuming alcoholic drinks. In certain parts of the world, the youth are required to provide their ID before alcohol is sold to them. But in our parts, it's a rare phenomenon. Well, I went out to some pubs to find out if they check the age or ID of a customer before selling them some alcohol. Let's take a listen.
No, we don't check ID.
Why?
We don't need anything for know the person identity before you serve him or serve her. Personally, to ask the person how old are you or whatever, but you can know from how the person is looking. If he's matured, you will know. Because you have been in the business for a long time, so you have to know what exactly the kind of customers you have to deal with.
I've been selling drinks at Kumasi, where I'm from. And sometimes I ask, I check from your face or how you look to see whether you are qualified to drink or not. I can easily see, because I've been selling for long.
Normally, we don't check, but when you look at the person, you know if the person is underage, you will get to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you check?
There's no reason. But when you look at a person, if he's underage, you know that this person is underage. If he's 16, 17, 18 years, you know. And if it's more than that, you know.
So check for ID or check someone's age before they buy alcohol?
I don't think it's necessary. Because when you go to someone, like a customer is walking, and you go to them like, can I check your ID? And you say, I don't have my ID, or maybe, why do you ask for my ID? You have to give the person a reason. You understand? And maybe you don't have a reason. That's why we don't.
Well, you heard him right there. Some bartenders around Accra. Well, we asked you on social media, should we adopt the habit of checking ID or the age of young ones when they come to purchase some alcohol? Well, let's find out what you people had to say. And Fidelis says, with the standard of living in Ghana, nobody would want to lose customers or run drinking spots at a loss. And thus, this idea will not work. And Kofi Gazy says, no verification, no booze. Lionel Carlos Brown says, nice step, it will ensure sanity. And Joe Ha says, it won't work. Sellers who will go by that won't make market and will raise their voice, whilst others will sell in corners and make money. But remember, alcohol is a medicine. We'll keep that in mind. And this one, Note says, I think it's a good idea, but the way we like money more than ourselves, if the drink is 5 cedi, they will tell you without ID, pay 10 cedi. And Yao Kabiesi says, this country where blue kiosks abound everywhere, can imagine. And Opoku also says, I think so, to save our children's future. Jackson Tufor says, it will not work. We're wondering why. I'm sure it might. Pascal says, it won't work in Ghana. And Kwame Jerome says, which ID is valid in Ghana? Go and check how the youth over there use fake ID to go to clubs and buy drinks. And Michael Bonny says, I think it will be right if such ID is implemented in Ghana. I once cried when I saw 3 JHS girls below 14 years smoking. And Mind Made Up says, I think that would be great if we adopt such laws in our motherland. Well, it's Tuesday and it's time to find out what you're thinking. Let's do some Tuesday thoughts. And Sammy says, not everyone stared at you is admiring you. Some are amazed that you survived all they've done to you to cause your downfall. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. And Chris Kirubi says, surround yourself with the best. Have friends who will help you succeed and influence you positively. Don't waste your life and opportunities. Give in with people who are going nowhere. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. Hashtag Ask Kirubi. Rick Jordan also tweets, never apologize for the time you invest in pursuing your dreams. The right people will understand. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. And Mattia says, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, and an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. There's a quote from Winston Churchill, and hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. Mohammed Khan says, a man who makes trouble for others is also making trouble for himself. This is a quote from Chinua Achebe, and hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. Mohammed Khan again says, move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you're willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable with something new. A quote from Brian Tracy. And Mofikoe says, my top 2 tips to accumulating wealth. 1, persistence. The rich know that the persistence eventually get lucky, and live within your means. Spend on things you need, then put the rest of your money to work. Invest. It won't happen overnight, but you're well on your way there. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. And Amit Goyal says, you will be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is to go on doing things you don't like doing, and that is insanity. Hashtag Tuesday Thoughts. And Daily Outsider says, hashtag Tuesday Thoughts on this Tuesday morning. If you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. This is a quote from Michael Jordan. Well, it's time for us to do our video of the day, and trust me, our mothers are joining me to break dance into the holiday. Let's watch this. But remember we were talking about Akufo-Addo speaking on women in Ghana. Well, lots of comments have been flooding in. We'll be taking some live comments after the short break. Welcome back. Let's hop onto Facebook to read some of those comments that have been coming into our comment section. And we have Francis Osei Abrakwa, who says, he said, women have not done enough to advocate for a place on the table. There are so many gender activities purporting to be fighting for their rights as women, but their impact has been minimal to influence decision makers to look in their direction. I think they should do more in the advocacy. And we have someone who says, you need to watch the video and see how that lady was mad at Nana. And We have Ibrahim, who says his posture on the subject under discussion is an embarrassment to the good people of Ghana, especially on our mothers and sisters. How could you say something like this? Men and women are equal partners. He goes on and on. He says, Mr. President, you got it wrong. Ghanaian women are listening and will not forgive you for that pronouncement. Well, it's time for us to wrap up on the show, but do well to keep your comments coming in. We'll make sure we read them for you. Well, the show has been Joy News Interactive with me, Selinam Ampo, and happy Eid Mubarak in advance to all the Muslim friends out there. Goodbye.